Hi, this is lesson 3.1, ballpark estimating, adding, and subtracting. Objective, I can make estimates, add, and subtract multi-digit numbers. Let's look at this problem. This is 661 plus 29. The first thing I need to do is make a ballpark estimate. I'm going to estimate to the closest hundred. In order to do that, I need to look at the digit next to it in the tens place. If this number is 5 or more, the hundreds is going to go up one digit. This number is 6, which is greater than 5. So this 6 in the hundreds place is going to change one higher into a 7, and the other two numbers turn into zeros. 700 plus. Now I'm going to look at the next number below. I have 29. I want to estimate to the tens, so I'm going to look at the ones place. This number is higher than 5, so the 2 goes up one digit to a 3, and the 9 turns into a 0. 700 plus 30 gives me an estimate of 730. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve the problem. I'm going to use this red line to help me separate my ones from my tens from my hundreds. This is going to help me keep my numbers nice and even. I'm going to start adding in my ones place. Here I have 9 plus 1 makes 10. I'm going to write the 0 from the 10 with the ones, and then the 10 from this 10, the 1 here, is going to be carried up with the other 10s in the tens column. Now I'm going to add these three digits. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 2 more is 9. And then now I have just the 6 left. 6 plus nothing is still 6. So my final answer is 690. Here comes another problem. We're first going to start with our ballpark estimate. I'm going to go to the closest hundreds again. To do that, I'm going to look at the tens. This number is higher than 5, it's a 6, so the hundreds digit is going to go up 1 to 7, and the other two digits turn into zeros. So 700 plus, now I'm going to look at my bottom number, 147. If I'm estimating to the hundreds, I look at the number next to it, in the tens. This time the number is smaller than 5, it's a 4. That means this hundred is going to stay just like it is, and the other two numbers turn into zeros. 700 plus 100 gives me an estimate of 800. Now I'm going to solve my problem. I'm going to go ahead and grab these red lines again to separate these place values. And then I'm going to go ahead and add. 1 plus 7 is 8. I'm going to add the next column. 6 plus 4 is 10. I can only write one digit at a time underneath, so I'm going to put the 0 from the 10 here. And the 1 that I would normally write next to it, that's going to get carried to the next column of numbers. Now I have 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. My answer is 808. Next one. This time we're moving into subtraction. Here's the minus sign. I'm going to start by making a ballpark estimate. 185. This time I'm going to practice estimating to the tens place. To do that, I'm going to look at the number in the ones. This number here is a 5, so that means my tens go up 1. Instead of 8 tens, I'm going to have 9 tens. That 100 stays the same. I'm going to change my 8 to a 9, and the ones place turns into a 0. So 190 minus, now I'm going to look at the numbers down below. Going to the closest 10 means I look at the ones. This is higher than 5, so that tens digit turns into one more than it currently is. So instead of 4, it becomes 5, and the ones place turns into a 0. 190 minus 50 gives me an estimate of 140. Now we can solve the problem. 5, starting in the ones place, 5 minus 7. I cannot do this. I need to get this 5 bigger in order to take away 7. So I'm going to go next door and see if I can make a trade. 8 minus 4. This is possible. 8 is more than 4. So I'm going to take one 10 away and make a trade here. Instead of 8 tens, I now have 7 tens. I'm just going to take one 10 away. That 10 I took away, I'm going to give to the 5. So now instead of 5, really it's 5 plus 10, which turns that 5 into a 15. Now all of my top numbers are bigger than my bottom numbers, so I can go ahead and subtract. 15 take away 7 is, that's right, it's 8. 7 take away 4 is, you've guessed it, it's 3. And 1 take away nothing is 1. So my answer is 138. Let's try another one. I need a ballpark estimate for 45 minus 19. Here's the ones. It's 5. That means the number next to it gets bumped up 1. Instead of 4, it becomes 5. And the ones digit turns into a 0. So 50 minus, here I have 19. Here's my tens. I look at the ones. This is more than 5. So the tens goes up from 1 to 2. And the 9 turns into a 0. 50 minus 20 means I'm going to have an answer of about 30. Go ahead and solve now. I'm going to go ahead and grab my red line to separate these place values. 5 minus 9, I cannot do this, so I go next door. I can do 4 minus 1, so I can make a trade. I'm going to take 1 away from 4 and turn it into a 3. That 10 now becomes 10 more for the ones, so it's going to be 5 that were already there, plus the 10 I'm giving it, means the 5 can turn into 15. Now my top numbers are both bigger than my bottom numbers, so I've made my trades first, and I can subtract. 15 minus 9 is, yep, it's 6. And 3 take away 1 is 2. So my answer is 26. Here is the next problem. Again, I need to do a ballpark estimate. I think I'm going to go to the closest hundreds. So I'm going to look at the tens. This is smaller than 5. It's a 4. So my hundreds are going to stay just where they are. It's going to be 200 minus. I'm going to look at my bottom number. I'm going to make an estimate, this time maybe to the closest tens. So if I wanted to go to the closest tens, I look at the number next to it. It's a 6, which means it's more than 5. So I'm going to bump up the number in the tens place, up 1 from 6 to 7. This 100 over here is not going to change, it's still 100. But now I have 7 in my tens place and a 0 in my ones. 200 take away 170 means my answer is going to be right around 30. Let's go ahead and solve. I'm going to grab these red lines to separate these places. And then we will make our trades and get started. 5 minus 6, I cannot do that, so I'm going to go next door. Can I do 4 minus 6? Nope, I can't, so I have to go all the way to the hundreds. Take 1 away. Instead of 2 hundreds, now I have 1. The 1 I took away turns into 10 tens for the tens column. So the 4 tens that were there plus 10 more means now I have 14. Now I can make a trade from my 14 to get this 5 over here bigger. So I'm going to take 1 away from 14. It now becomes 13. That 110 I took away breaks into 10 little ones over here, and I'm going to give them to the 5 that are already there. So 5 plus the 10 means this becomes 15. Now all my numbers are bigger, top is bigger or the same as the bottom, so I can go ahead and subtract. 15 minus 6 is 9. 13 minus 6 is 7. 1 take away 1 is nothing. So my answer is 79. Let's try this with with a story problem. Jenny has $3.10. She buys some cookies for $2.45. How much money does she have left? Use P, N, D, and Q to show the change. Well, we are subtracting because we're starting with a bigger number, $3.10, and that money is disappearing because we need to buy some cookies. Jenny needed to buy some cookies, actually. And so we want to figure out how much do we have left. So we're going to write this as a subtraction problem, $3.10 minus $2.45, and we're going to solve. I'm going to go ahead and get those red lines that are off to the side. These are going to help me. Oh, looks like we only have one red line here, so we'll go ahead and draw in another line. This is going to help me keep my places nice and even. And then we're going to subtract. 0 minus 5, I cannot do that. So I'm going to see if I can subtract 1 minus 4. And I can't. So I've got to jump all the way over to the 3. I can do 3 minus 2, so that's where I'm going to start my trades. Instead of 3, I now have 2. I'm going to give the 10 I took away to the number next to it. 10 plus the one that's here makes 11. Now I can take 1 away from 11, turn it into 10, and that 1 I took away becomes 10 more for this 0. Now all my numbers are big and I can subtract. 10 take away 5 is 5. 10 take away 4 is 6. 2 take away nothing is nothing, 0. My decimal point was right here, so I'm going to put that in my answer. Remember, I'm not done. My answer is 65 cents, but I need to use these symbols over here to show that change. I'm going to start with a quarter, that's 25 cents, and add another quarter, that'd be another 25 cents, so now I'm up to 50 cents. 10 more would be a dime, that'll bring me to 60 cents. And a nickel gives me that 5 more cents that I need. This now is my final answer. Okay, class, it's your turn. This is quiz question number 1. Please make sure you write this down in your math notebook. You need to solve 48 plus 45. Quiz question number 2. Solve 248 minus 139. And here comes quiz question number 3. What is a ballpark estimate for the answer to the closest hundred? So you need to take 459 plus 123. You need to estimate those numbers to the closest hundred, add those parts up to get your answer. That estimated answer is what you will put for quiz question number 3. That's it for today. Bye.